Hello and welcome. There's a sense of gloom and doom when you talk to industry, but does that pervade everyone and everything? Let's understand it from a different point of view. We speak to Zia Mody of AZB and use the new companies bill as a starting point and understand whether some things are changing which might be some cause to cheer.
Certainly some things have changed. I'm not sure how India Inc. sees it, but so for example, we have class actions now being allowed. CSR is rightly dominating a lot of India Inc.'s mind space, which is a good thing. But we have some rollbacks, which were really as a result of Satyam. A lot of the drafting in the most recent version of the Companies Act is a kickback of the Satyam issues. And so I think that where we will have cause for concerns is on the independent directors piece. As it stands right now, independent directors have a positive obligation to inquire. Not being present at a meeting is not enough. Abstaining is not enough. Even if you were absent at the previous meeting, you're required at the next meeting to look back at the minutes of the previous meeting and say yay or nay. So
all there is clearly a Satyam flow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And therefore, I feel that that is going to impact on the quality and the quantity of independent directors that we will be able to source out there. So I think government has to relook at that one for sure.
Right. So when this is really, from a foreign investor looking into India, and we're talking more about direct investors, there are some areas which have not been opened up, or they've been only partially opened up: insurance, banks, retail, defense, and so on. Do our problems end there, or are there more questions that open up from investors that need to be answered?
I think one of the things that the government must come out with more certainty, and I think they're trying, but it is a difficult task, is how do you define the C word, control. And
that goes for any sector.
That is for any sector where control is an issue. Obviously, if it's all automatic, who cares if you control or not? But the bottom line is that with the Jet Etihad experience, we as professionals watching feel that there's hardly anything left which a minority investor can ask for more than his complete lowest minimum bottom line, which in a lot of cases doesn't make sense. Private equity is completely perturbed because they come in at huge premiums, money flowing into the country. And then if they are said to be in control, that's the last thing they want because of all the fallouts. And again, if a company, even if it's in the automatic space, if it is said to be controlled, then all the downstream investments, so you are called what is called a foreign owned and controlled company. So you can only use internal accruals, you can't have borrowings, etc., etc. So the fallout goes beyond just the regulated sectors. I think that government should come out with a list of maybe 10 or 12 items which it doesn't see as issues. And beyond that, each client can take a call as to whether it can justify that it is not in control. So you take lenders. Lenders have covenants which tie up the borrower to kingdom come. They're obviously not in control because they've given debt. If the same quality of those sort of restrictions could be permitted by minority investors with a little bit of calibration, at least then we will have a base minimum bottom line and everybody's comfortable. Today, right of refusal, we don't know if it works. Tags, drags, we don't know if it works. Quorum requirements, we don't know if it works. And the answer is, why not? We should know if it works and what is wrong if it is there. And that discussion, if government quickly has with all the constituents and then takes a firm policy, then certainty is out there in the marketplace. We are not scared about what our letterhead is going to have to say or not. Other people who are relying on it then don't turn around and say, you should have crystal gazed. And millions of dollars are at stake.
Right. So, sectors which have been opened up in some senses, like retail, are not seeing much money come in. Now, that could be because of a multitude of reasons, but it also could be because there are some things which are not clear, or there are some binding laws or notifications which make the investor apprehensive. What's your sense on this?
I think multi-brand retail in particular is an interesting one because the government feels it has done all it can. So there's a disconnect of, expectations out here. The government is saying, we've walked the talk, where's your money? The investors is saying, that's not the walk. We have a lot of issues which are still pending out there. The sourcing issue, to the extent that they've recalibrated it and diffused it a bit, I'm not sure it meets with everybody's expectations. Then you have the bad fallout of the press reports of a Walmart Bharti JV. Is Walmart staying? Is Walmart going? And then, of course, all the states haven't come on board. So if you're going to put in $1 billion or a couple of billion bucks for Pan India, and you don't get Pan India, then who knows what happens. Plus the politics may cause the powers to change. And then will a state opt out again when it's opted in? It comes back to the same thing you're saying, Govind, lack of certainty.
Right, but you've actually, as you've outlined these elements, they actually seem to have become more intricate and more complex over the years, in some ways.
Bound to be, because,
including the political, the state.
Multi-brand retail is a vote issue, or has been put out as a vote issue, even if it isn't. The APMC in several states, yay, nay. The Mandi issue hasn't yet been resolved. And the success stories actually, for those who have come in, from those who are anticipating coming in, is low. Have people who have really come into the retail space made such a success of the market that there is this, rainbow out there that everybody else has to flood. Personally speaking, I think it's a great opportunity. I mean, I'm very much convinced of aspirational spending, aspirational eating. Everybody's spending more, our savings have gone down. Where's it going to go? It's going to go into that. But at times when, foreigners are themselves facing their home country issues, they're not flush with cash necessarily, plus they see the uncertainty here. Vodafone has not disappeared. The retroactivity issue is still out there. So I think that whole khichdi has to unscramble a bit. I think it's possible. I think the government wants to do it. I'm quite convinced the government wants to do it. But there's a little bit of state center politics that just isn't sitting down and quietly sort of getting into a steady flow. And the foreigners don't know when the rupee will stop sliding. Should they wait a little more when they'll get more bang for the buck? This is the issue.
So from the investor side again, what would you advise them at this point of time? So some people may just want to pack up and leave. I'm sure you're not telling them that.
No.
What are you telling them? I mean, how do you navigate this new India and this new complex India, which is only going to get more complex and more intricate?
Well, I mean, for the ones who are disheartened, so to speak, I mean, my counsel, it's not a legal counsel, but my counsel is wait. You've come in, you've bitten the bullet. You've navigated what could be the initial problems. Wait, pause. You don't have to spend every day, but hang on in there. I think it'll grow. Then you have, matters that we read about like Shell, where the transfer pricing on the shares has come up. So now every time a foreigner brings in his money as capital into a wholly owned subsidiary, what do you advise him? At what price should he be bringing it in? How do you do it? Again, we need certainty out there. For the ones who want to come in, I think it really depends on sectors. Services sectors, I think it's a no-brainer. If there's still a market out there for people, they do come in. They don't look at it twice. I think areas like defense, they are definitely waiting and watching. There's a huge market for them here. They would like to participate more in the offset JV. They want more stake without having to divulge technology and secrets, etc. I think the FMCG sector will always be attractive to most people. Insurance is crying to come in a larger way. I mean, for the life of me, I don't know why that one has been held on for so long. The politics have to be overcome. Huge FDI will come in. Not only that, you will have a set of really happy foreigners. They see India still as underinsured. Great opportunity. Real starving of capital out there. So I think if the government even takes, low-hanging fruits, picks its right pieces, so to speak, everything will be seen as political right now, but navigates whatever it can smartly, And then the new government, when it comes in, hopefully takes a sensible view of the next mandate.
It's almost an answer to a lot of questions at the same time. So, just to sum up, Zia, last question. So, if you were to be talking to a potential investor into India and you'd say, I think India is a good long-term investment story, only if, fill in the blanks.
I would not say only if, I would say that it's a great long-term and even a mid-term investment, provided you have patience. Provided you understand that there are some inherent country risks, provided that the solutions are going to be slow, and that, India just works the Indian way. But the market's there, the people are there, the money is there, the opportunity is there.
That's a very warm note to end. Thank you very much for speaking with us. Thank you.
Pleasure.